do both?
Yeah.
Look at us. Okay.
Hey, so are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Uh, hey, hello and welcome to our virtual movie discussion. Today we are going to discuss the 2001 film A Knight's Tale. First, we're going to have some introductions. I am Dr. Karen Wisely, and I used to teach history at Northeast Campus, and I am joined by some of my colleagues. I think there's at least 3, 4 of them here. Anybody want to speak up? Dr. Chloe Northrup, who teaches history at Connect
Hi.
Campus.
I'm Chloe, Dr. Northrup, and I teach history, and I'm department chair at Connect.
And we have Haley Stewart. Also, she teaches at Northeast Campus. There.
You're really forcing me to talk. Yeah,
Yes.
I teach history at Northeast Campus.
Adam Guerrero. He's not going to show his face.
Yes. In the history department at the Northeast. Well, you can see me. I'm driving right now, so.
That's okay. And Sarah Reed.
Hey, y'all. Excited to talk about this movie. Chaucer was one of my favorite authors to talk about in Brit Lit, so I'm excited.
Okay, so our custom when doing one of these events is to start with a little introduction where we read the log line or brief description of the movie and then go over some of the main cast members and where you may have seen them before. So, the log line for Knight's Tale: peasant-born William Thatcher begins a quest to change his stars, win the heart of an exceedingly fair maiden, and rock his medieval world. With the help of friends, he faces the ultimate test of medieval gallantry, tournament jousting, and tries to discover if he has the mettle to become a legend. It stars Heath Ledger as William Thatcher. You may know Heath Ledger from, wow, Chloe, you're all over the place. You may know Heath Ledger for his Oscar-winning turn as the Joker in 2008's The Dark Knight, or perhaps he broke your heart in 1999's 10 Things I Hate About You, or 2005's Brokeback Mountain, or by dying way too young from an accidental overdose in January 2008 at the age of 28. I don't think I remembered that he was that young. And wow.
It was a lot. And
Yeah.
also, if you came to our movie this summer, he also died in The Patriot.
Yes, he did. Yeah, playing an American with his Australian accent.
Yeah.
I
I wasn't mad about that though.
No,
I'll let it happen.
I was more mad about, the other Australian. Also starring Mark Addy as Roland. And if you are a Game of Thrones fan, you may know him as King Robert Baratheon. The man who was killed while hunting a wild boar and subsequently led to Sean Bean dying yet again early in the film. He was in a ton of other things, but I don't know how many you youngs have seen, like The Full Monty in 1997 and 2010's Robin Hood amongst them. Rufus Sewell as Count Audemars. Sorry, I did it in the wrong order. There we go. I noted that he is pretty much always a jerk in his films. I honestly hope he's nice in real life, but even if he is, I wouldn't trust it. I recently watched him in a Netflix series called The Diplomat, where it's a very good series, but he is a terrible person. He also was a Nazi in The Man in the High Castle. So basically, he's evil. Shannon Sossamon as Jocelyn. And this was her first movie. She's been in some others. She still acts mainly in independent stuff, not that well known. But the really notable thing about her is that she has a child named Audio Science, who is now 22 years old, by the way. Yikes. Audio Science. Paul Bettany stars as Geoffrey Chaucer. He is pretty well known for being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, first as the voice of Iron Man's computer Jarvis, and then as the embodiment of it, Vision. He's also been in a ton of other stuff like the Da Vinci Code, where he was the bad guy, and Wimbledon, where he was a tennis player, obviously. He's also been married to Jennifer Connelly since January 1st, 2003, so a lucky, lucky man.
Is this his first big movie?
Um,
I saw some of this was like his break, and I was like, really? I mean, that was
Yeah,
kind of surprising.
he'd been in bit parts here and there
Mhm.
before this, but this is the first, like, he was a big part of this movie, and he was naked in the first couple of scenes. Right? I mean, no clothes. Alan Tudyk as Watt. He actually grew up in Plano, which is pretty crazy. He has a pretty decent accent there. He is known and well known in certain circles, which is code for nerds, for his role as Hoban Washburn in the cult classic, way too short-lived sci-fi series Firefly, in 2002-2003. Most of you are probably too young for that. But recently, he's been lauded for being in a series called Resident Alien, about an alien from outer space who crash lands in a small Colorado town and takes on the identity as a doctor. He is, very good at what he does. And I also wanted to mention, and I don't know if you have a thing for it. Yes, you do. Kate, Laura Fisher as Kate. She's the blacksmith, and she was in Breaking Bad, and had an American accent in that, which is really crazy because she's very Scottish, as you can tell in this movie. And she was also in Tom Cruise's Vanilla Sky in 2001, and a whole bunch of British television series, including at least one episode in Doctor Who. A Knight's Tale was directed by Brian Helgeland, who also directed Payback and 42. It was released on May 11th, 2001 in the United States, so just before 9/11, and its running time is 2 hours and 12 minutes. I don't know where Samantha is so that she can comment on the running time, but
I feel like it's the perfect amount. Like, it's not too long, it's not too short. If it was a miniseries, though, I wouldn't be mad about that either.
I know, that's what I was going to say, is that I didn't feel like it was too long or too short, but I also think it could have been longer, and I would have said the same thing. It was just very entertaining throughout. I don't think there were like lulls really. It was good. It's a great movie, I think. But let's open up the floor and see what everybody else thinks. I don't want to be talking all the time. That's code word for I don't want to be talking all the time. So, what did you guys think?
Well, I mean, I don't know, of a woman of a certain age in here, it was a movie that came out when I was in high school. And for me, it was like a movie that I think I saw with my mom in the theater, maybe my friends, I don't even remember, but it was like one of those movies that we all could go see, and that like you could see it with your parents and it wasn't awkward, because do you remember like being a teenager and there was like movies you could see by yourself with your friends and it was fine, but if you saw it with your parents it became weird because it's like
If there was
you got
any
the jokes,
nudity or any
they
kind
got
of Mhm.
they got the jokes and you all were feeling awkward together because you knew the jokes, and it was like this weird thing. It was one of those movies you could see with your parents. It wasn't a movie for kids, and yet it was like a family friendly one at the same time. And so I'm so glad there's new people are watching it. So to me, it was like one of those that make you feel like happy inside, that you're able to go and see. And that's like holds up over time as well. And the fact that it's still some of the movies that we talk about, like they're rather dated afterwards. And like I feel like it still is kind of an interesting movie now. And I think that's because of like, we talk about this like it's like very open in the fact that it's not trying to be accurate, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you got that from David Bowie showing up or the music, We Are the Champions right away and all of that, but it is very anachronistic, as they say. It is but there's an element of fact in it. I mean, these kind of tournaments did exist. This is based on one of Chaucer's stories. This is, it's there's truth there. But it's also just like a fun romp, right? I mean, I was much older than you when I first saw it, Chloe, because I'm much older than you are. And then I rewatched it because I had the DVD because it wasn't it wasn't on any other streaming service, and I like to watch it on a streaming service on my big TV instead of my laptop. And but I had the DVD and I watched it, and it was I really enjoyed it. I missed it. I gotta watch it more often.
I think it's because it has like a great like good versus evil. It has a good character arc of people like character growth. I don't think would this one pass the Bechdel test either. I don't think so. But they still have really fun female characters. Obviously, the blacksmith was someone that I always liked her a lot. That she was able to come in and like do her thing and stuff. I liked that as a teenager. Jocelyn's a little annoying still to me now.
I have a very different reaction to her.
Okay, I found her very annoying when I was in high school, and I still find her a little bit now. I mean, the costumes are a lot. And I do have a slider that we can look at it in a bit. Some of the costume choices are obviously like bold and in no way historically accurate. And yet, like, I'm still here for them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that they kind of based what the men were wearing on Rolling Stones concert, what they wore. What those old men wore in their concerts, and I was like, oh yeah, I could see it. It's kind of loose so that they can dance and all of that. And yeah. But, yeah.
All right, I would love to know in here. So, any of the students who are in here, had you ever? So, some of you who had never seen the movie before, what was your thoughts when watching it? And did you have that feeling like the person I read about online who really hated the movie?
I mean, the people that have talked so far said that have said, yeah, go ahead, read. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate the movie or anything. I don't think it was the, greatest movie I've ever seen, but it was really entertaining,
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything that, I'm not going to be sitting here next year at summer and somebody goes, what's your favorite movies? This isn't going to hit, my top 10 list, but it was a fun watch. I had a good time watching, and it was just, enjoyable movie.
You don't regret the 2 hours and 12 minutes you spent watching it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Good.
Like to expand a little bit on that, I
Yeah.
feel like this is a modern notion that every movie has to be an Oscar-winning movie. Like the beauty of the Knight's Tale era is they did movies that were just fun, that you could watch and they were lighthearted. And I feel like now everybody's competing to be Academy Awards or Oscars. And it's like sometimes we don't need an Oscar level film.
Sometimes what we need as a society is 3 young girls coming together with music to sing and fight the demons around us. No one else in here? Nobody else in this room?
I don't even know what
you
movie
don't
you're talking about.
Okay.
The world.
Does anybody know what I'm talking about? No? then you don't have a 4-year-old in your home who is absolutely obsessed
Correct.
with K-pop Demon Hunters, which is now
Oh,
the
my
number one
goodness.
film on Netflix of all time.
How
And-
All of my kids are obsessed with that.
Thank you. So when she came in, she was like, I want to watch K-pop Demon. I was like, what? I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Demon Hunters?
You have
No
to
way.
watch the movie to understand. It's actually
Exactly.
really great.
She goes to my niece who's 16, and my niece is like, yeah, of course. Like, you can watch whatever you want. Puts it on, and
Hold
now
on.
she's obsessed.
Are they saying that the K-poppers are demons, or that
No.
the demon hunters just
Well-
happen to be K-pop?
Okay.
Okay, that's
Again,
interesting.
like,
You have to
they
watch it
find-
to understand.
You have to watch it to understand. But that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe sometimes a movie comes along that you don't know you need, and
Oh.
so and it just soothes the bombs of society as well. And if you have kids, and even if you maybe don't have kids in your life, you might check it out, because there's some songs that will get stuck in your head. Crystal, am I right? They're all stuck in my head all the time now.
Yes, the songs are played over and over. All of my kids sing them. I have an
Yeah.
18-year-old and my 5-year-old too. Seriously, it's crazy.
Okay. Yes. But I'm thinking about that.